Evening. I'm Marvin Mosier, originally from the Concord Seventh-day Adventist Church. We recently, about 6 months ago, opened up a church plant in Kannapolis, North Carolina. We're in an area that has about 135,000 people that has no Seventh-day Adventist presence in it. And it's a challenge. We came from a church plant actually 39 years ago. And we've been there a long time. We got pretty comfortable. And it's easy to do, it's hard to leave. And we didn't get very many people to go with us. Not leadership anyway. We're training leadership because my wife and I is the only ones that left the other church to start this one. In the leadership area. We do have a few other people from there. But church planting is not for the weak of the heart or for the lazy. And we've had some people go back to Concord because it keeps them too busy, more than they want. And we don't believe in just sitting around. Every Sabbath afternoon, after lunch, we go out and knock on doors. I don't have pictures tonight. I don't have a lot of stories to tell. We haven't been there that long. But we do have things that give us hope. We've got several people that are trying to put together Bible study groups that we've contacted out there knocking on doors. We've had discouragements. You get a door slammed in your face. And one of the big competitions we have is a Baptist church and Jehovah's Witnesses that work that area every week. And sometimes when we knock on a door, people are already upset. We went back to see one of the guys that I'm training that'll probably take my place one day. We went back to see a man that we had talked to before. When we got there, they're sitting on, him and his wife, I think his wife, sitting on the porch, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. The Baptists had just been there and come up there and condemned him as a sinner and he was going to burn in hell throughout eternity. So when we first walked up, his attitude was sour, and I can't blame him, because that was kind of the wrong approach. Now we've set our church up just a little bit different. We didn't go rent a church. We rented a building, not this size, but we rented a small building so that we have it all the time. And not just a couple hours on Sabbath. We have prayer meetings. We have our regular church service. We have a lunch after every church service. Because we sit around and we fellowship together before we go up and knock on doors. Now, we set our service up just a little bit different than where the church that we came from. We eliminated all of the pre-Sabbath school activities, and we take an hour and 15 minutes for our Sabbath school lesson. Sister White says that there should be less sermonizing and more Bible study on Sabbath. And we're doing it that way, and we find it's a blessing. We form a big circle. We take turns, we go around the circle having prayer, everybody reads scriptures, everybody takes part. And our group is pulling together very tight. We've seen spiritual growth taking place that you wouldn't believe among the people that are there. We've had one man walk in, he's a broadcast engineer with NASCAR. And he was raised in the church, but he'd been out of the church for a long time. But now he's looking for a new job because sometimes he has to broadcast on Sabbath. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He's very quiet, and he held back a lot at first, but he's coming around now. We're making friends with him. He's even said that he wants to get involved with going out knocking on doors with us. And that's a positive, because knocking on doors is something that people it doesn't come natural. Anyway, it doesn't to me, even though we enjoy the people that we meet. And we have some real nice conversations with people out there in the neighborhoods. A little bit later on, we will hold an evangelistic series in the area, and we're trying to pave the way with people to help us there. I've got a few notes I need to look at. Got to put my eyes on. But you know, we can't let these things stop us. Church planting is so important. When you go back to the New Testament in Jesus' time, when Jesus left, what did the disciples do? They went out from village to village and they planted churches, didn't they? When the Seventh-day Adventist Church first started out, they went around planting churches. They didn't have ministers to run those churches. They had the circuit riding preacher, as they were called. They'd come in and preach a sermon once in a while, but the lay people led the church. And I think our conference is very wise in going back to this, because church plants is where our growth takes place. It takes place so much faster than it does in established churches. There's really no comparison. Because in the church plant, people work. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to be there. When you stop to think about it, why are we still here? Why has God allowed us to continue to go on? There's only two reasons for us to even exist anymore. One of them is to prepare ourselves for heaven, and the other is to help prepare other people for heaven. Otherwise, God really has no purpose for us here on this planet anymore. You can just call it to an end and take those home that are ready. And of course, we want to be there. We have to carry a burden for people in these neighborhoods. We have to want to see them standing on the sea of glass along with us. And it's so important what is taking place. I hope this place is full tomorrow, because people need to be here for this. In our prayer meetings, we sit in a circle where we face each other. I don't like sitting in the pew and looking at the back of somebody else's head while we're studying. We all go around the circle having prayer, and everybody takes part. And we're getting to be a close-knit family. And that's the way our whole churches should be. Don't let anybody discourage you with this. For doing this last seeds time we were at a seeds meeting like this, we were contemplating starting a church. And what our pastor was, he brought us along, and a little while later it became activated. This is God's work that we're doing here. This is God's work. He told the disciples to go out and to teach the nations, the people, everything that I have taught you, and to take them and baptize them. And if we get busy with it, pretty soon the Lord's going to come. So let's see what we can accomplish out there in the next few years. I think we've got over 6,000 churches in the nation. They're shooting for 13,000 in the next 10, 12 years. Let's make it happen.